Samkhya rests on two axioms: Purusha, pure consciousness, and Prakriti, inert matter, existing without overlapping. Though often stamped as strictly atheistic, that label is historically incomplete. The philosophy actually operates across three distinct branches: a theistic model, an atheistic model, and a hybrid middle ground. We find evidence for all three across the vast corpus of Indian literature. The theistic model is heavily detailed in sections of the Mahabharata, while the hybrid approach anchors ancient Ayurvedic treatises like the Charaka Samhita. Samkhya functions as a rigorous, mechanical definition of the exact rules governing how spirit and matter interact. To understand those rules, we have to isolate the properties of each axiom. Purusha is entirely sentient. It is the observing consciousness, but it is also completely inert. It cannot act. Prakriti is the exact opposite. It is completely blind and insentient, yet it contains the raw material and the kinetic potential for all physical manifestation. This creates a structural paradox. If consciousness cannot move and matter cannot think, how do these distinct principles combine to build an evolving universe? The mechanism required to spark that interaction is the trigger of evolution. How a specific school of Samkhya defines that trigger dictates whether it falls into the theistic or atheistic column of our matrix. Zooming in on the atheistic column, we see a model that completely bypasses the need for an Ishwara, or creator god. Here, cosmic evolution is triggered by the mere passive proximity of spirit to matter. The texts refer to this indirect relationship as an unbound wedlock. Watch how this magnet interacts with the iron filings around it. The magnet does not exert conscious effort or perform an action. Its simple presence forces the chaotic iron to move and organize into precise geometric lines. In this model, Prakriti is entirely self-sufficient. It acts as both the raw material and the driving force of the universe. No divine will is required to build the world. Proximity alone is enough. Shifting to the theistic or Sashwara model, the rules change. God is introduced, but importantly, not as a creator who conjures the universe out of nothing. Instead, God acts as the efficient cause, a director of existing materials. Satkaryavada states every effect pre-exists within its material cause. The universe waits inside Prakriti. Initially, Prakriti rests in Samyavasta, a perfect equilibrium of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Ishwara Sankalpa, divine will, provides an impulse, striking and shattering this equilibrium, forcing Prakriti to expand outward. A third, hybrid model ignores the theological debate entirely. Much like modern physics, it remains agnostic regarding a creator, focusing strictly on the mechanical observation of how mind interacts with matter. A single dualistic framework accommodates both extremes. It provides the mathematical logic for a self-winding clock and the exact entry point for a divine watchmaker. When Samkhya was absorbed into the broader Hindu scriptural traditions, theologians recognized the utility of this structural logic. They took this raw ontology of spirit and matter and fundamentally adapted it. To make it work, later traditions executed a structural adjustment. The single concept of Purusha is fractured into two principles. The 25th becomes Jivatman, the individual soul, bound by matter. The 26th becomes Paratman, the supreme transcendent soul, untouched by the material world. This vertical split identifies the 25th principle as the subject of bondage, while the 26th principle serves as the source of grace or realization. By isolating these nodes, Samkhya gives theologians the mechanical components necessary to build a path toward liberation. Vedantic schools built different geometries. Advaita Vedanta draws a circle of Maya around matter and the individual soul, leaving the supreme soul outside. Ramanuja wraps matter and soul tightly around a central supreme soul. Madhva breaks these apart entirely, defining an absolute duality. Three contradictory definitions of God and the soul, all built using the exact same structural components provided by Samkhya. This structural mapping culminates in one of the most famous metaphors in Indian scripture, appearing prominently in the Bhagavad Gita: the kshetra, meaning the field, and the kshetrajana, the knower of the field. The field maps directly to Prakriti. It is the perishable, active, and insentient matter that makes up our bodies and the universe. Here, the luminous center is the kshetrajana. This is Purusha. the conscious, observing principle stationed amidst the warm, material tones of the field. This mapping gives ancient texts the precise grammar to describe a spirit that is enveloped by a material body while remaining distinct from it. Centuries of scholars used these structural components to build their systems, from the clinical observations of Ayurveda to the complex monotheism of the Vaishnava traditions. Its geometric logic provided a shared vocabulary that allowed contradictory schools to debate using a single coherent set of definitions.